Hi, this is Issara with UX in Motion, and this is going to be really quick. You know, I'm a huge fan of keyboard shortcuts. They just make such a difference when you're working. You go from being like just a slow poke to just a freaking badass in no time. So I'm going to share with you my top 24 UI animation keyboard shortcuts. I use these like every single day. These are awesome, and hopefully these will save you a lot of freaking time. So you can go ahead and download this. I have it as a PDF. You can put it next to your desk. You can print it out, do whatever you want. I'm just going to go down from the top. So the very first one is to set the beginning of the end or work area to the current time. So that's this bar up here, and you can move your playback head, and if you just hit B for beginning, that's how I think of it, and then N for end, it'll just set those in points and out points for you. Go to beginning or end of the timeline if you're on a laptop, and these are all Mac keyboard shortcuts, but the PDF does have the ones for PC. So on the Mac laptop, it's function left arrow, and then it's also just home on the keyboard. And if you hit function right arrow on the laptop or the end button on the keyboard, that will also do the trick. Zoom in or out of canvas is just comma, period. Really, really simple, really useful. Zoom in or out of your timeline is just the plus and minus keys. Super, super useful. And again, don't forget, you can always just hit the space bar and just click and drag, and it will move you around in your timeline as well. That might not be on the PDF, but I use that like every day. That's super important. All right, move in point of layer to current time. I love this one. So basically, the idea is that if you have a layer here and you just want to snap it to to your current time, if you just hit left bracket, it'll just snap the in point of that layer. It'll just shift it over, so it won't affect the trimming of it. It'll just shift it like over. And similarly, say this was trimmed here. And I'll probably show you that one in a second. If you hit the right bracket, boom, it'll scooch the out point over to your playback head. So those are awesome. How about go forward? Oh, trim layer in or out point. Yeah, that's a good one. So basically, if you have your layer here and you just want to trim that, if you hit option left bracket, it'll trim the like in point, and if you hit option right bracket, it'll trim the out point. Super awesome. How about go forward one frame, command left arrow, command right arrow, and if you want to jump 10 frames, it's command shift left, command shift right arrow. Super awesome. Go to layer in point or out point. So again, if my layer is selected here, if I just hit I on the keyboard or O, the key next to it, it'll just pop me at the beginning or the end of that layer. To open the graph like editor, you can hit Shift F3. This is if your keyboard is already set up for it. So just if it doesn't do that, you may just have to go into your system like settings or something like that. Easy ease is also by default like set up for F9. So say these guys were, if I just put these back to be linear for a second here, boom, boom, boom. So these are linear keyframes. These are selected. If I hit F9, boom, easy ease. Done, son. I'm just going to undo that. Maximize panel. Love this one. Use this all the time. Wherever you're hovering, if you hit the tilde key, which is to the left of the 1, it will fill your whole view. And if you fill it will fill the view with the panel that you're hovering over. And if you hit tilde again, it'll snap it back. So I can just move that wherever I want. It is like the dopest thing ever. I love that. The fit to canvas view. So if you want this to just fit automatically, if you hit shift question mark, it'll put it to the fit view here, which is great. Okay, with keyframes, you know, these are just real simple. Option T to add an opacity keyframe. Oh, sorry. Let's start with just the regular properties. So if I hit, I'm just going to close these up here. If I hit, so I did that by doing select all, command A, and hitting U on the keyboard to hide modified properties. So that'll hide all this stuff real quick. So if I just have a layer here, and if I hit T, it brings up my opacity. If I tap the P, it brings up position. Just look down here. R brings up rotation, S for scale. Those are great. If you want to add a keyframe, you just hit Option, hold down Option, and then the property you want. So Option T adds an opacity keyframe. Option S adds a scale keyframe. A great trick is if you have just the opacity up and you want to add the scale, if you hold down Shift and then S for scale, it'll add that property. And then if you want to hide opacity, hit Shift T and it'll hide that. So that's a cool way of just navigating around your properties. Go to previous or next visible keyframe. Yes, use this all the time. So J and K will move you not only from the previous keyframes, I think also the endpoints as well. Notice it'll snap to the work area endpoint and the work area out point. If I keep going, that is just the bomb. Love that. Show only properties with keyframes on selected layers. So if I hit U, it'll hide those, and if I hit U again, it'll just reveal all the modified properties, which in this case have keyframes. So that's very helpful. Use that one all the time. Move selected keyframe 1 frame to the left or right. So if you're just tweaking your work, you can actually hold down Option, left arrow, right arrow, and if you hold down Option Shift, it'll jump at 10. So this is a great way. You can see then if you just move your playback head, right? See, a lot of people I know are so good they do most of their work from the keyboard. So say we're just working on, this part here, I'll hit, B, N to set my work like area, and then I'll hit Control 0. I'll get to that in a second. Maybe that's a little too short. And then I can go ahead and just tweak one of my frames here, right? And just move that around. Hit the keyboard again, boom, and I can keep working it that way, just straight from the keyboard, which is just freaking badass. I mean, that's how the way you should do it. And then to do a RAM preview is just Control 0 on the Mac, and then it's just 0 on the PC. And then if you're on a keyboard, like not a Mac laptop or not a laptop keyboard, but like a real one, you can just hit 0 on the numeric keypad, and that will also get you cruising. So that's it. That's my top 24. I hope you like those. I hope those make a difference for you. Thanks for watching.